let's just get started right off the bat. What's up, Freight Shaker Classic XL? What's happening? Yeah, what's going on? Well, in today's day and age of trucking, where we got high fuel prices, inflation, supply, etc., 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 it's a rough market, right? It's tough. So you really got to be on your game. So how are you going to be on your game? You should be using some type of software. Now, we'll go over AXISTMS today, and then we'll go over Trucking Office next week. So we'll split them up, and we'll show the two programs, right? Because each program fits a different profile. And you decide which ones you want. These are the ones we used, right? We use these programs. So we'll show them, show some differences, but you need a TMS system to keep track of your business. Absolutely. Especially in this environment. Because if you're doing it on pen and paper, it's probably wrong. And you probably lose the paper and everything, and people say, well, I don't need that as long as you get a paycheck. But do you really know what your business is doing? You have to know, especially when the rates are fluctuating, fuel is going through the roof, and so forth. So you got to know what you're doing. Plus, with software, you can look at different lanes that you run. You can see the prices. You can go back. You know, if you've been using the same software or other softwares for years, you can go back to that same run and see what they were paying, what the fuel price was back then, and so forth. And you can see if anything's, gotten better or whatever. Yeah, Ogar uses Fogline software. Ray White, that's his program. It's a good program. I like cloud-based software better because I don't have to have a computer in the truck. I can do it right off the phone. And you can do it anywhere in the world as long as you have internet connection. Plus, I don't like Windows computers. Basically, I don't like them. So I like the cloud-based stuff. So AXISTMS is cloud-based, and so is Trucking Office. Now, if you go in the links down below, you'll see all the discounts. Axis gives this channel and all of its subscribers a great deal. Had a company that has 20 plus trucks switch over, and one thing Axis will do is they will bring in all of your customers, all of your stuff, all your data from your old software, or if you have them in Excel spreadsheets or whatever you use, they can bring that data in, put it in the system, and do that work for you. They will do that. They also program things, right? So if you have something you want in there, you can ask them. They'll work on it. They'll get it programmed in. They're here to help the trucker. So, and that one company, if they're in here, I don't know if they're watching or not, but they stopped at the booth at the truck show, talked to me and stuff. We talked to Axis. They got together. They got the software. They imported all their stuff. They did a lot of changes for those folks to make them happy and for the switch. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Which one do you use? The company uses AXISTMS, Ogar. A lot of the drivers use Trucking Office, which is another great program, which, we have a code down below, 10% off for life. And if you use our link for AXISTMS, you can get this for a really great price. You won't get this price anywhere else. And if you look at their website, and you look at the price, you'll see it's a really good price. Close to half off, I think. I'm looking for a place I can leave my trailer while my truck is in the shop. At the shop should have a place for you to park the trailer. It's a Freightliner dealer. They should have room, or they should make room. What else we got going on? All right, so let's get right to it. We'll show it, see what it looks like. So this is Axis. So this is not our company. This is a demo, right? Well, tell them they got to make room. You know, if they're towing the truck up there, they got to make room. Say, look, you got to make room. You done worked on the truck anyway. 14 drivers, 16 trucks, 15 trailers, 9 employees, 2 tasks. This is the home page of what Axis looks like. Now, this little paper up here, that means that there's documents that were submitted. 14 on the money bell, that means there's 14 loads that have all the documents and ready to be sent to your customer or to a factoring company to get paid. This right here says 2, that's tasks. And this little operator here is the messages and stuff. So if we click on this little truck, we'll see there's a time off request from this driver and a driver's license expired. All you got to do is hit the update, and it'll take you right to this driver, and you can update the expiration date. So if we click on this and we say the 24th on the 20th, and you hit save, now you only got 1 on this little truck. If you get out of service drivers or trucks or trailers, they will show up here, inactive driver, inactive drivers. And it'll also scroll down here. You can see a list of all your drivers. So from the home screen, you can set up new company driver, new owner operator, new subcontractor driver, trailers, network partners, resources, office employees, and so forth. So with this system, you could have a fleet inside of a fleet, right? So if you have an owner operator that has 3 or 4 trucks, you can put them in there, and then you can set up a subcontract driver and assign them to that company and that truck. So it's very powerful software. Order management, exactly what it sounds like. This is all your orders. It'll give you a nice completed order 6-month span so you can see what's going on with your company. A lot of good little graphs here. You can create an order from this screen, copy an order, import, so forth. Import from Amazon. If we go back here, create an order. This is where you can create an order. We're not going to create one right now. We're just showing some of the tabs. If you go to dispatch screen, go to the dashboard, this will show you all your pending orders, truck count, trailer count, active orders, and all your trucks on this screen. And since they can take this software, and as long as the ELD provider you have has an API token, it can be linked to this software. So if you're using Samsara, Keep Trucking, Road, whatever, any of those, it can link in here. And this would be live data from the ELD software. So you can hover over it and see whose truck number it is and so forth. Now let's go back to Shipment Monitor. This is a great screen. If you leave it on this screen, this tells you everything you need to know about your trucking company. This driver, it'll show you if they're on time, it'll show you if they're delayed, and it'll be green if they're en route and they're not delayed. So if we change the dates on this order, then this will go to green. For example, if we click on the order number, this is the order. You can see left here on 10/13. But if we go here and say edit order, And we're going to change the date to June 10th at 20:45. Save and exit. If we go back to this screen and do a refresh, see this right here? Now he's on time. So this tells you just by a glance how your company's doing, whether the guy's arrived. So if you get a broker that calls up, say, hey, where's Michael at? So he's arrived. It tells you right there where he's at, gives you all the reference numbers that you put in, truck, trailer number, phone number, his name, all on one screen. This is the broker, will be right here. Tells you where his deadhead was from, where his current location at, where his next stop is, how far away he is, and his estimate and when he'll be there, right? That's what this will be. And it'll be live from the ELD. And from this screen, anything that's blue, you can click on it and it'll take you to those appropriate screens. So if you hit on truck, what do you think that's going to take you to? It's going to take you to the truck profile. And you see, here's his name ID. If he's in telematics, it'll tell you. It tells you who the provider is. And you scroll on down. And you give everything on this truck. Registration, VIN numbers, odometers. You know, anything you put in a truck is going to be there. I also tell you when everything renews. And you'll get things for that too, right? So if a registration's coming due, this little red truck will pop a 2 on there and say that registration's due for that truck. All right. Yes, freight shaker class. There is. Hold on a minute. I guess they didn't want to talk to me. There is, if you use our link down below, there is. I gotta reply to this. Yeah, so if you use our link below, there is a monthly option, right? And if you go down to the description, you'll be able to see that. Let me go. I'll bring up YouTube on this other part here. Let me go into this description. 1 to 3 trucks, $60 per month. But if you want to pay all up at once for 1 year, it's $50 a month. And then 4 to 8 trucks, 9 to 15, 16 to 40, 41 to 75, and so forth. All right. So if you click on that link, you'll get those discounts. You'll get a free trial. But if you do a 12-month, you save $10 a month or $120 a year. But they do have that. And you get everything in here. They don't lock nothing out where you got to keep adding. Your storage is infinite. There's no limit on storage, but you've got to buy more storage. So everything's included. Payroll system, everything. So if you go to dispatch, we've seen what shipment monitor does. If you go to truck monitor, and you can have these on separate tabs up top. So you can just click to different tabs. If I scroll this down, you'll see what I'm talking about. If I click on this tab, we go to that screen, that screen, that screen, that screen. So we can close those tabs out. But here under truck monitor, you'll see how fast they're going, engine stats, their next available time, current location, and so forth. And from these perform action buttons, you can do any one of these actions. So if I want to see live truck monitor, I click on it, and it's going to show me exactly where that truck is on the map. I can chat with the driver by clicking this button and so forth. And you could truck records and maintenance and things like that. So if you want maintenance on the truck, you just click on it, it opens that screen up. It has a maintenance program built in. So you put in what the maintenance was and you had add new record, so forth. You can go back and look. So this on 4.4 is repairs. And if you click on it, it'll show you, what the repair was. And there'll be a document there if you uploaded the document. So that'll keep track of your maintenance records. And you can set up maintenance schedules. So in their app, you'll get a message on the phone. You got a maintenance coming up. So you can send all your loads on here to the tablet, to their tablet or phone. And they'll see exactly what they have to do and what's going on with their load. They can also sign for documents. When they get to a shipper and stuff, they can sign. It'll show up. But this is their app on the phone. And you see it has all this stuff. So it's got a make request, notifications. So if you click on notifications, it'll show you the notification. And this says, bill of lading document was rejected for order ID, blah, blah, blah. Please send a clearer photo. So if they take a photo with this and the bills get sent in to this back office, you can't read them. You click on it. It lets the driver know that bill's no good. You got to send in a new one. You can communicate by hitting the communicator. You can scan documents, make requests. All your loads will show up down here in this area. So as soon as you put in a load, it comes right to the app, to the driver. They click on it, hit start, and it goes on it. And it's just like if you're using JB Hunt app or Coyote or Convoy or any of those apps. It runs just like that when you're doing the load. What's up, G-Star? Ogar, what's happening? Let's see what else we got going on. Yes, fuel is expensive. We all know that. Southbound 619 in Arizona, 709 in California. It's getting crazy. All right. So trailer ID, same thing. If you just click on it, it'll take you to this trailer profile. If you click on a person's name, so we go down here, just click on one, you will see any fuel that they bought would be here. Cash advances, driver request, expenses, and then all of their loads are down here. And it'll tell you if the load is paid, if the invoice was sent or not. You'll see it all right here on one page, which is another powerful tool. So let's just pick somebody else. See if we got somebody in here that, see, he has a payroll right here. Invoice paid, invoice sent. You can download the payroll. Payroll will look like this. It'll have your name of the driver. You can have all kinds of things on here. You can set, you have to get percentage, mileage, whatever it'll be there. Year-to-date fuel, year-to-date mileage. You can do year-to-date additions, deductions. You can have all kinds of things here on this pay statement for them. Right, so it'll tell you total miles, gross, everything. It'll show you the load, shows you empty miles, loaded miles, where it started from, where it finalized, etc. Then any deductions they have and additions will all be on this pay statement. All right, so that goes over a little bit of the payroll statement. Shows you what that is. And if you click on this, you'll see the broker. All the information on the broker. So you can go to a lot of different places from here. Now, if you have scheduled orders, that, you know, if you got a guy that booked 3 orders at once, you go to schedule orders, hit display, and this will bring you up all the schedule orders. Now, if this load cancels, you could click perform action and you could hit cancel order. Now, this is what's great about this software. If I hit cancel order, it's going to ask if it's a dry run, which means a truck order not used. If you click yes and put it in there, let's say $200, and I click yes, what this is going to do is this is going to change everything. If the load paid $3,000 or whatever, it's going to take all that, delete that out, put it at $200, and show it just like that. You don't have to go in and change nothing. You just click yes, it changes all for you. The only thing you do have to do is delete the rate con that's in there and put in the TONU rate con. Other than that, it'll take care of everything for you by a click of a button. That simple. Like up here, here's all the documents are sent in. Like here's one for this load. We could hit the download button. We could take a look at it. And if it was, let me see if we got one that has something, right? Somebody took a picture of a Pringles can. So if that was a good bill of lading, you would just hit approved and you'd be good to go. And then that would come over here to the money bell and be ready to be paid out. So if we go to this, any one of these loads, hit perform action, hit send invoice, we can click one-click factoring, send to factor company or send to customer. So if we send to factor, we merge all the documents. This is going to merge all the bill ladings, your rate cons, anything to do with the paperwork of that load. And all we got to do is hit send and it's gone. So just a couple buttons, click, click, done. If you go into accounts receivable, that's where this will be. Anything that's sent is in here. So when these loads get paid, you can do a whole bulk. You can just click on it and hit mark paid. And then you go through and tell how much paid and the payment reference number on all those. And if you do that, all these will be out of here. So next time you look at billing sent, there will be nothing there. Those will go to accounts receivable paid. They'll be in this category now. So it's nice, even flow down the list. Boom, 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 boom. Missing paperwork. If you have anything that's missing, it'll tell you, did not do a BOL, did not do a BOL. So you can go in there and hit perform action, attach file, click any file you want, and bill lading, choose the file, submit it, and now that will go to this money bell because there will be no more missing paperwork for that load. Diesel pricing, click on that. It's going to tell you the average. It's going to tell you the current per mile, 95 cents. And down here, it'll tell you the fuel surcharge. Already calculated out for you. So it's got that nifty stuff. And hours of service. So if you're clicked to an ELD, which this isn't going to bring up nothing because this is a demo, all that come here, you'll have everything on your ELD right here. That's what that'll be. IFTA, same thing. You can run your IFTA. And then if you want reports, it'll do any report you want. It's got all different types of them. Here's payroll settlements down at the bottom of the report. You can see all the payroll settlements. Just keep on scrolling down. And this is a report here that you can do what you want with, right? So you can put in dates, times, select drivers, select customers, get a detailed report of whatever these boxes you check. Display your gross gallons of fuel, display net gallons of fuel, order revenue, whatever. Customizable, very customizable on that report. What else we got going on? All right. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, this has a lot of customizable stuff. So if you go to settings, you can set up, your insurance, your accounting, your add-on modules, payroll, system, and everything. So if I go to payroll, I can sit here and check these boxes. You can set the times we want to pay. You can also pay daily on this if you want by doing it manually. You can remove loaded miles. You can remove empty miles. Anything you want to remove on a payroll settlement you can do just by checking any of these boxes. Then your payroll deductions, you can add anything you want. So if you want to add in, let's say everybody had an insurance cost that was over there for bobtail, you could do that. And if it was $35, you just put 35, add it, and it's down here at the bottom. So whenever you go to the payroll and you click on the deduction, you could just pick insurance bobtail, and it's automatically going to deduct it. $35. Same thing with additions. You could put anything you want in here. Load pay, extra pay, scales. You see all that in there. You could do repower. Right, you could add that in there. And if you pick that, then on the pay settlement, you would pick how much money. You'd just type it in there. Step 1, says Canadian Freight Broker, is get a TMS. Right, it doesn't matter what you get. You need something, right? I'm just telling you what we use. I use Trucking Office to run this trucking company for a lot of time, for years. I switched over to AXISTMS for some of the features and for the streamlining that I needed. So that's what we use now. But I still tell everybody, hey, Trucking Office is a great program. We still support those folks because they have a great program. AXISTMS, we support these folks because they have a great program also. Just depends on what you're doing in your business of which one you need. No SRO. I don't use specialized trip numbers in load numbers. This will generate everything for you, and it syncs everything for you, right? So for example, if I go into order management and create order, I can come in here and just create this order, and it's going to give it a number. So if I hit select charges, here's all the charges, right? It's got everything you can think of in the book. So if I go line haul, quantity 1, let's say it's a $3,500 load. Let's say later on they get detention. You could put 1, and if it's a 40-hour, detention's 40. If they're at JB and they are 3 hours, it does it for you, 120. Then you click in here. Let's say you pick convoy, put a reference number in for convoy. We'll just do something real quick. Let's just pick GM, select a type, pickup, put pickup number in here if you want. Additional reference numbers you can put in here. And you can see BOL numbers, trip numbers, appointment numbers, chassis, whatever. Put today's date. Let's pick a time. And if it's an open pickup, right? Let's say until tomorrow at 17. Now it's June 9th for 4 p.m. to June 10th until 17:15. And you can select anything in here to put in here. Truck types. You don't have to. Now we'll go over to this company here, and we'll say it goes to, let's pick something else. Let's say it goes to Rochester, New York. Delivery. Put some delivery numbers in. Let's say it delivers on the 11th at 1600. And we hit continue. And as you see, it made its own order number. These order numbers will go to their pay. It'll show up. Now, if I sent this, if I assign it to a driver, right here, to assign order, I'll show you in a minute. It'll send it. Of course, it's not hooked to this phone. I'd have to use my own software to show you this. But if we're in here, it's going to be right here under active orders. They'll get a ding on their phone. They'll open this up and they'll see their order, exactly where they got to go. Then they click on it. They hit start, just like they're like at JB app. When they get to the shipper, they hit arrived. They hit depart. Same thing with the receiver. They upload the BOL. Comes into the back office. All done, nice and set and pretty. And if you have a fuel card, it can bring in all the fuel that they purchase every single day and automatically deduct it from their pay, so there's zero data entry for fuel. Zero data entry. It's done for you, automatic. So you scroll down and you'll see that this is $3,620 and there's nothing here because you haven't assigned a driver. If you assigned a driver that was like 80%, then 80% of 3620 is going to show up here. And it's going to show us miles and everything. So if I assign the order, it's going to look for all the trucks, and then I'm going to pick one. So here's the trucks. And we'll pick Terry Hendricks, let's say. You can click his current position. It'll show you his current position. Or you click planned from previous load. And you'll say, okay, what was his previous load? And you pick it. So Clinton Township, Michigan, if you pick it, it's going to show a 584 mile deadhead. Right, so it's going to show. We'll leave it at that. If it wasn't, you could always change it here if you wanted to. But this is just for demonstration purposes, right? So if I hit assign now, it's assigned to him, and it's going to show you what he gets. $29.75, $60 detention, empty miles, loaded miles, cost per mile $247, total driver $30.35 with total miles, and so forth. And it's going to show you net revenue to the company. So that's what that shows you. So if we go back to dispatch shipment monitor, and until they start the load, it won't show up on the running orders. This will be on the scheduled orders. So if we go to scheduled orders and go on down here to Terry Hendricks, we will see the load right here. The convoy load right there. You can perform action, you can delete the load, update it, cash advance, anything on here. Shipment activity, add expenses, add a fuel entry if you had to. All this. You could split the order. So let's say he breaks down. Another guy's coming there. You can hit split order. That splits it. You put down pick up at this truck stop. Let's say he's at a truck stop. And then he finishes the order, but it's all underneath that one order number. So you could split the money 50-50, 70-30, whatever you want to do. So if I hit split order, here comes a split order. And I can make it out and assign it to the other driver and show a drop and hook on all the stuff. And you save yourself from doing all kinds of crazy orders. So payroll is easy. Ready to process. Select driver or select owner operator company. So if you select a company, owner operator company, then you're going to select your driver. And then you can select a pay range if you want. And if he has any payroll in this range, it'll show up. Or to do it manually, you could do payroll, manual process. You could select a company. What company was it? Arizona. And if we put him here, we can say, okay, pay date from February 1st to June 9th. And if he has anything in those areas, it would show up. If he had any load, it would be right here. So while this payroll screen's up, you could add an item if you wanted, and it shows right up. Or you could select from this list. Let's say you had a truck lease. You could hit the start date, and then you could say, let's say it was $1,200. You could do amortized or reoccurring. So for instance, if you got a guy with an escrow, You say June 1st, he just started. Let's say it's $1,000 escrow. You could say amortize it over 40 payments. And if you hit save, it's going to take 25 bucks. So 25 of 1,000, 1 of 40. Next payroll, be another 25 bucks, it'd be 2 of 40. When it gets to 40, this deduction goes away. And so forth. So you can do that for trailers, anything you want. You could set up amortized or reoccurring. Right? So if you have a truck lease and, you know, if he's 500 bucks a week, you could say reoccurring, every pay, save. If you're doing weekly pay, it'll be every pay. And it's going to show you the deduction up here. Same thing with additions. You can add an addition. So if you had training pay, you could give him that. Let's see, at 800 bucks. Save it. And then his paycheck would be $275. You just click on the date, pick pay now, and hit process. And it'd process that payroll. So like this. If I hit process, here it is. It'll show everything for him. Now, if you make a mistake, simple. Go to process payroll, select the driver. Here he is. If I hit perform action, I hit revert payroll. It's like it never happened. I go back here, it's gone. It's never happened. Mike Johnson, you're crazy. Mike likes, his fingers are all calloused. Right, Mike? All calloused. So, this is really good to show you where your whole fleet is, what it's doing. So if you have a company call you up on the phone, broker, say, where's this truck? And you can even have this on the phone. It looks just like this on the phone. I'd have to log into the I don't know if I have that I don't know if I have that login on my. I'll put it on my phone next time because I'm not going to show our company's data. Yeah, you better go hurry up and put that in there, Mike. Get it in there. Go to work. See, Mike's working. Awesome. But Scott, if you want a live session view, you can call me. I mean, we can do a Zoom or something, right? And go through the whole thing if you want. But very cost effective. It integrates everything. Integrates the ELD, integrates your fuel. You can batch to a funding company, right? So if you have 14 loads here and you say, all right, I want this load, this load, this load. And if you take these other loads off, let's say I just want to batch these loads there. That's not, hold on a minute. It's the bottom ones. They got different ones up here. On my screen, it's not like this. This must be for demo. All right. So you click on the bottom ones on this thing. If you hit process as a batch, it's going to add all of them up, 30,550. If you hit set payable to factory company, merge documents, it's going to merge all those documents. And before you process them, you can preview it. So it'll show you the invoice, all the invoices, totals this to the factoring company. And then it'll show you each invoice, order number, has everything down there. And then it'll have the rate con, bill lading, and so forth. And that's how it'll show up. Invoice, rate con, bill lading. And it'll have it all in there in PDF format. And if that's good to go, you hit process batch and it sends it to them. But we won't process that. So you can send 1, 2, 3, 10, up to 20 megabytes. Most places will only take 20 megabytes. So, I've sent as much as 10 at a time, 15 at a time, but it just depends. Some are only 2 or 3, depends how many bill of ladings they have. But you can batch process, which I like that because it saves me time. And then when I get my statement from Thunder Funding, it'll have SRO and everybody. It'll have that trip number, that load number on the batch with how much money. So all I got to do is take a highlighter and go, yep, that's it. Go on down. And then I go into the invoice sent and mark them as paid and then put in what Thunder paid me on there. It's pretty simple. But anyway, that's that. And we'll go over truck and office next week. We'll do a video on them. And you guys can see that also. Of course, you've probably already seen all that anyway. So what's going on, John Armstrong? Come up in here. So I just got a notification that one of our drivers just sent in a bill of lading. So on my software, I got run on a different screen over here. I click on it and I see it. Let me see what he sent me. Yeah, see, now that's too blurry. He's going to have to redo that. So I'm going to decline it. So I declined it. Now he'll get a thing saying that's too blurry. So what I'll have him do is use Cam Scanner or something, send it to my BOL address, and then I'll upload it manually if I have to, if he can't get a clear picture. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll end this at about 45 minutes. Unless somebody wants to come in and talk about it or wants me to answer some questions, I'll let them in. There's the link. If you want in, now's the time. I'm going to cut this off in about 1.5 minutes. Yeah, I'm just kidding. We could wake up John. John, wake up. And while we're waiting for a minute, we can give you a little music. What's up, Glenn? Yeah, I'll turn the music off now. Glenn's in the house. What's happening? Well, we could get more in depth in this program, Glenn. I mean, this thing can run mega carriers. Because if you look at it, down in the settings, down here, you can do terminal settings. So you can set up terminals, right? You can set up terminals. You can have drivers and trailers and everything assigned to those terminals and employees assigned to those terminals. So you could have dispatchers, if you grew to 100, 200, 300 trucks, this software can suffice you because you could have different terminals across the country, have those trucks that are in them terminals assigned to those terminals. So you would know what each terminal is making compared to the other terminals. And you can assign dispatchers, employees, whatever, and they can only see certain things, right? They can only see the drivers are responsible for in their own terminal. Or you could let them see the whole company. There's just so much stuff you could do with this program. So like if you go into settings, right, you'll have vehicle settings. If you go in there, you can pick any of these vehicle settings from the list. Add-on modules. So you can add on your ELD, trailer tracking, EDIs, load tender APIs, and of course, Canadian Freight Broker know what we're talking about here. Navigation, fuel card, and so forth. And it also has a brokerage part. So if you had the brokerage part turned on, integrated factoring. So if you had the brokerage part turned on, and it has its own little load board. So if your guys see those loads they want it, they click on it, boom, it would assign it right to them. You don't even have to do that data entry. You won't even have to do that data entry. Then there's system preferences. Allow dispatch employees to see drivers, trucks, trailers on the menu. Yes or no? Yes or no? Remove temperature control from order to create. You can remove dock high. Enable supplier entry. So forth and so forth. It's got all kinds of stuff. It even has a driver file program. Right? So if you go in here and say you want to set up a new subcontract driver, right? So you start filling out his profile. So we'll just set up somebody real quick. We'll just make up some numbers. We pick who he's contracted to, right? So Corner Logistics, let's say. Let's put in a fake license number, expiration date, license type, CDL Class A, and you could attach a driver's license here. We'll put in the email. Social Security, yes or no? Click no. Put in a driver ID, and you can fit it in this birth date and all this stuff. And if you hit continue, you can do the background check. You can do a manual, PSP, put in the MVRs, drug testing, and all this stuff. So if you had a negative test, you put negative, and then you'd put in the date. Hit continue. Previous company, continue. And then you come up with all their pay. If they're a pay percentage, it's right there. This owner operates 85%. You could override it, but that's what you have in this company, so that's what it is. Team pay if you want, and you can come on down here and pick any of this stuff. So, if they get detention pay, say yes, and you pay a percentage. So if they get 100% detention, you put 100. If it's 50, it's 50. Whatever your company pays, you can put it in there. So this is their demo, so I'll put it back to 50. My fingers are getting fast. I hit continue. And then hire on date. You can put in all the agreements, alcohol policy, put all the files in here. Did you add the random drug testing? Yes. Activate the fuel card? Yes. Give them a handbook. Give them a road test. Attach the road test. Are they approved for any of these? Yes or no. Any other documents? Any of these you want it checked? Hit continue. And here's your hire on date, termination, everything. And you just hit submit, and the driver's created. So it's really detailed on what you can do. There you go. We passed the 49 minutes. We're out of here. We'll see y'all later. Have a great day.